Hello.
Hey,
Nice to meet you.
very nice to meet you. So you're representing Diego, right?
Yes, I'm Diego Sayen.
Oh,
Exactly. My name is Javier.
fantastic. Yeah, welcome, Javier. Welcome back. I actually can remember like 5 years ago. I think we met already when Diego was obviously playing for the club, and I mean it was a
Well,
was a
actually, this one is my first mandate with Diego, but it was my boss actually who was representing him.
Okay. I'm very sorry. I
no,
thought
it's fine. It's fine.
you know.
I understand that you see a lot of people. Around.
maybe maybe familiarity.
Could be.
I pick up as well.
Could be.
I mean, it was a very special time for the club and for Diego.
Yes.
I think for both of us, it was like the prime of the career, and we really look forward to bringing this back to the club and to our fans.
I think it could be a good moment for both
parties. This period, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm here because Diego just told. I had a meeting with Diego, and he told me that he has been in touch with you. So I would really like to hear from you. What are your views about this potential, opportunity for both the team and Diego?
Yeah.
For Rio de Janeiro and Diego.
So as I started off, I think that first of all, the general relationship which we have, the club and the player, is extremely strong. So I think both Diego had his prime at the club, as well as us. Obviously, you've seen the news, etc. We haven't been performing greatly. That I think that's no secret. So I think we both really benefited from each other, and we would really like to see that again.
Yes.
To give Diego a chance at the very end of his career after 2 years which were very mixed. He had a very difficult time. We had a difficult time to come together again and find a good solution.
Yes.
I mean, we're aware of the fact that kind of Diego came to us to some degree. He's looking for a way out, but obviously we are very happy to help in this situation. So
I see.
I
think he mentioned that he called you, but I think that it's not that he called. It's not that suddenly he called you. No, he called you because he has been reading everything that it's been releasing in the press. So I guess you are concerned. We are all concerned. We have all more or less the same information.
Yeah.
And if you wanted me to be here, it's because I think it can work for you.
Yeah.
So.
No, sure, absolutely.
I don't know. What's your view? What should be the main terms and conditions of this deal? What are you thinking about with Diego, and what's the position of the club?
Yeah.
What's your relationship? I would like to know what's your relationship right now with Alfonso. Which, of course, it's another concern for us.
Yeah.
And everything.
So maybe I'll give you a little bit of background first on the player situation. So what I want to say first is that if Diego was to join the team, we would like to give him a very active role. Yeah. So we would like to see him play. We don't wanna have this discussion and make the investment into Diego to see him sitting on the bench. So in any scenario, we want to avoid that, because it will be neither good for Diego and also not for us as a club. Situation is as follows. Obviously, you probably have heard the rumors that Alfonso is currently being diagnosed, and he has health issues. We have a big team on it, so it's a bit unclear what his situation is like. So we still have to find out. It may well be that he will come back relatively soon, but it's uncertain for now. So we are doing a bit of contingency planning. Even if he would come back, Diego would still have a place in the team, and I think he could work well together with Alfonso as well. The other contingency planning is obviously we have a fantastic youth team, and actually one of the younger players. He really is. I mean, he's an outstanding talent. So we see him very much able to step, quite early on into Alfonso's shoes. So that's the kind of background. But I think what I want to stress, irrespective of what will happen with Alfonso, we want to see Diego in the first team, actively playing.
Okay, I mean, what you're trying to say, like to be clear and honest to you,
sure,
is that you want to hire Diego as a starting player?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
So that's your scenario, no?
Absolutely.
As a starting player.
Absolutely.
And would I ask you, what's your starting point about the term? I mean, for how long do you want to hire him? Like, initial approach. I mean, we all know that Diego is already like 37 years old, but we also need like some commitment for you because he wants like to. I mean, his dream is to end his career here, and he doesn't want to have another experience like short experience and not really good. This is a really good starting point for us, like being a starting player. But we also need commitment about the duration of the contract. I don't know, what do you think about it? Or if you have an initial thought, or you want me to share our initial thoughts?
I mean, I think from our side, the term is so. In theory, we would like to see Diego having as long of a term of when he can play well, which makes sense, that the club performs well and that he performs well. So that's clearly the intention. I think that we very naturally in football, even if the term is longer as well, if a player gets to the stage that he doesn't deliver any performance, I think it would also not be in the interest of Diego anymore. I'm sure if Diego would have a term of 5 years and in the first season he plays terrible, I'm sure he wouldn't like to continue playing for 5 years and sitting on the bench. So I don't know what specifically you're looking for with the term. I mean, in principle, if there's an ability for both parties to say goodbye in a friendly way, of course we can sign a longer term. But I think ultimately the term is determined by nature, by how it plays out, how well Diego plays, and also the other way around, how well we as a team perform. Maybe Diego's going to perform well, and our team is actually not going to underperform.
Of course.
So
I do understand, but that's why normally the football contracts have a duration. No? I mean, it's not that you can of course, if you sign a contract for 5 years and Diego is playing terrible, you are going to get rid of him. I do understand, but these 5 contracts give him a protection.
Yeah.
Like to be sure that he's gonna be able to end his career here.
I
do understand it. He's already 37 years old, so
yeah.
I'm not thinking about 5 years contract. I was more thinking about 3 years contract or something like that.
Okay.
But because I think that we need to be reasonable to each other, no?
To be honest, at this stage, I would quite like to see the duration within the overall package. So I'm taking it in the 3 years, but I want to see the overall deal and then take it further. In terms of maybe we go on to the salary point. I think it's obviously one of the main
here
points.
We are going to talk about 3 points, I guess. No? It's the position that he is going to be on a starting player. No?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Then the duration of that we said that you want to talk about the whole thing, and I do understand and I do respect it. And then the salary. So let's talk about the salary, and we will come up with a whole package that will include like the duration and the salary.
Yep. So on the salary, I think my main context first of all is we do have to take into account where Diego comes from and also what his recent reference points are. So we have the reference points of his salary at Brasilia and at Sao Paulo. I completely acknowledge that what Brasilia did to him, on the salary.
Can we contrast the numbers just to be in the same page?
Sure. So I was given the information that Brasilia was giving him an annual equivalent salary of 110,000.
Yes.
and Sao Paulo was giving him a salary, I think, of annual equivalent 175,000.
Right.
So first of all, I want to say, I mean, embarrassing and disrespectful on what Brasilia paid him. You know, we see it as
the situation. It was what it is.
Ridiculous and unfair, and we don't want to go there. Equally, obviously, you know, we need to be careful from our club side to all of a sudden pay Diego an amount which is, you know, multiples above on what he recently earned. My first proposal would be to again go back to what he earned at Sao Paulo and raise his salary to 175,000.
To 175. Well, you need to understand that when he went to Brasilia, it wasn't about money. No? It was just a desperate situation. He wanted to end the season in another club. He had some trouble in Sao Paulo, and that's why he accepted this 110. For us, 110 is not a reference anymore. It's like, it doesn't make sense for us. No? That's our...
But can I just ask, so why did he accept it?
Because it was like a short-term contract. The working power for a player, you know, that like when you're at the end of the season, it's so low, so you couldn't do much. But obviously, it's well known in the football industry that that's not reasonable. But I do understand that you don't want to like invest more in Diego than what he was earning. But I would like to take another points or another reference points to the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
As you may know, Diego was earning like 220 when he was here in Rio de Janeiro.
Yes.
And due to inflation and everything, like his salary now at Rio de Janeiro would be like 440, because it's 2 times. Like the market has been performing like that. No? I do understand that Diego is not in the same position.
2 times within 4 years. That is slightly above inflation rate now.
No, it was not only inflation rate, but also that football has become like more popular. But this is like, I can give you like, as an agent, I work with these numbers and it's given. It's not that I'm saying this. It's like the statistics says that like football players, like top football players, now have 2 times the salary that they had like 4 years ago.
Okay.
It's a fact. Okay, but I do understand that Diego is not in the same position. So. However, I think that it's also necessary that having Diego is going to play here not because of the money, or not only because of the money, but also because of his reputation, everything. He has been a really, really good player, and now he's not doing that well after his injury, and he wants like continuity. That's why he's asking for a starting player position. But also he needs some kind of reputation. I don't know what the average salary now in your team, but I think that 175, it's not gonna be like a powerful message to the press and to everything. We also know that we want not only to perform better as a team, but also to have higher attendance. We need to make this like a good deal for both parties. Right?
No, absolutely. And we're on the same page.
Giving this message to our supporters, like, okay, let me bring another point to the table. Like this thing with Alfonso, I don't want to touch it. I don't know what's going on, but you know that the rumors are over there. So he was being paid like 250. What are you going to say to the supporters if you are going to say, okay, I had Alfonso and now Diego is coming and I'm paying him much less, because you know that the salaries of the football players are gonna be in the press, like for sure.
Well, we can be careful about that, right? That's, you know, we can play around with
that. Historically, it didn't happen, but I agree. We can try to work on it.
Yeah.
It's not a powerful message.
Let me make a proposal. So, agreed. I think what we want to achieve is we want to bring Diego in. We want to find old strength. We want to see Diego play well, and we want to see attendance increasing in the stadiums. I think what I would like to do, I would be very happy to link part of his pay to the attendance rates in the stadiums, because if Diego performs well, the team should perform well, and supporters should be happy to come back again. Given how great Diego was 4 years ago, he still has big support in the fan base, and it should really improve attendance rates. So just to maybe I'll just sketch out some of the picture.
So we have already think about it. So
sure.
we want to summarize.
So the stadium.
Yeah, it's now 75%.
35,000 seats. And occupancy or attendance, however you call it, 75% at the moment. In the past, when Diego played well, above 95%. So, you know, approaching 100% in the past. And we hope that we get at least close to this level again.
Well, it was in 95%, I guess, but yeah, it's
sure.
Almost there, yeah.
Now, at the moment, we're just breaking even. We're not making a profit, so financially, we're not in a great position. That's also clearly, you have to understand, this is not just about how we treat Diego. This is also, we need to be careful about this. Average ticket price is $5 at the moment. Yeah, for now I would assume this doesn't change, but we can talk about it later. So if Diego would push up attendance by so season has 50 games. Let's say 25 are at home. Yeah. Let's not consider other leagues. So I would say the additional revenue, and I'm not considering additional cost, additional revenue, which we could ultimately have from everything, could be $5 times 35,000 times 0.25 times.
What's the 0.25, sorry?
The difference between the attendance.
Oh, okay, the total. Okay.
And then times 25 games. So $5 times the additional attendance.
Yes.
Times 25 games would be your additional revenue, which roughly equals to it's about 1.1 million. Do you get to the same? Do you agree?
Well, I don't have the calculator, but I would believe you. Okay, great.
So roughly we're talking about 1.1 million additional revenue, which is, there will be additional costs, but let's just focus on the additional revenue.
I would talk about the 43 or almost 45,000 additional revenue for each percentage point. Okay, so your additional revenue could be like this divided by 25. No?
Correct.
So
Correct.
It's almost like 45,000.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. So ideally, what I would like to see is that some element of Diego's salary is linked to this. So I would propose the following. I would propose that we go in with a 6% split for Diego of the additional revenues. Yeah, which would give us about 66,000 of additional compensation.
Well, in the case that we manage to, I don't understand these numbers. However, this will happen only in the case that we manage to get like 100%. So, you know that this is not Diego's problem. This is also like Rio de Janeiro's problem. We are now at that point that we have like 75% attendance, and that's like 100% related to the young people that you have in the team. Like they are not like really well named, like really well known names, and we need to improve that together, you know. So first of all, you are talking to me about increasing and just sharing 6% with Diego. That I think that Diego is like a crucial part here to make this happen at the beginning. But I also, it's not only that. So first of all, it's the team's fault and the composition of the team right now fault. Diego is going to be like the key thing here to make this happen, and also that the team's revenue will hopefully increase also with Diego, not only because of the attendance, but because you will benefit from advertisement revenues, no? Because you have been losing like a lot of these contracts. So, I mean, I wouldn't think just on this, and I agree that it should be linked, but I think in like a more simpler way, and we were thinking more about each 1% that we get, Diego will get like 10K. That was my point, because we are not like thinking about the 100%, as you can understand with my rationale. No? We are thinking that with Diego in place, we will be managed to make from 75% to 85%, but during the first year. So if we are that successful, we would like to have this 10K per each 1 percentual point that we get in terms of attendance.
A couple of points. I do agree with you that obviously Diego helps up to push up the attendance, but I wouldn't say it is only Diego. It's a team, and it's a wider team. No other player has a profit sharing agreement, so this is something we exclusively do for Diego.
Yeah, but you want to do it just because you want us to have a lower salary.
I want to link his incentivization to him working for the team. Lower salary, again, you can talk about it. It's 65,000 more than what he earned at Brasilia, which was his previous job. So that is, I mean, percentage-wise, we talk about
we do
a 60% increase before his profit share.
I have already told you that this is not a reasonable assumption, but okay, if you want to get a step.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
It's fine for me.
Okay.
We do all understand the situation here. No?
Okay.
But, well,
yeah.
I mean, to go further. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the base salary and then about the profit sharing. I mean, I was talking about 10K for the first person. Like, if we manage to be in 85%, it would be 10 times 10K. So it could be 100K. I know that it's much more than what you're saying here, but I think that it could be reasonable that having like a decrease mechanism. For example, this 10K for the first year and 5K for the second year. So we are not going to double counting. So that could make sense for both parties. Like, if we manage to have a scheme like, okay, this year, for each 1% additional revenue that we get, Diego is going to get 10K, and then for the second year, just 5.
So you're suggesting that he gets a quarter of the incremental revenues, not taking into account that we might have additional costs as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, the revenues are going to be like much higher. I mean, we are not also taking into account the additional revenues that you are getting from advertising and everything.
I mean, a quarter is just a very high amount. If any other player would ever even remotely find out that a quarter of the additional revenue goes to one single player, considering that we have over 20 players in the overall squad, I think that is pushing it a lot. Yeah.
So we can think about another mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, what I want to point out, so this is all predicated upon the idea that the ticket cost stays at $5. So for me, what goes hand in hand is that the moment you push attendance and you increase your performance, then eventually this rises as well. So, then we're talking about additional revenue above break even. So just even like raising ticket prices to $6 would give a lot of additional benefit.
Yes, I understand, but I think that it's easier. Like football player contracts are always super simple, and from my experience, it's good to maintain them like simple.
Okay.
I mean, we are not talking about financing.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not a finance man.
You talked about incremental revenue on percentage attendance point increases.
I was saying that if we get one more percentile point, which is easy to tell Diego, I'm gonna tell you, if 350 more people attend the stadium, then you get 10k. That's my only point. Yeah. So it's quite easy.
So what is your proposal? Just to understand.
Make it simple.
Can I just understand it? So
yeah, it's like
you say for every attendance point increase, he gets 10,000. Yeah.
That's fine.
25. If you would manage to push it up to full occupancy, that would be $250,000. Yeah. And what would the base salary expectation? So first of all, I cannot accept this. I have to say this already. $250,000. Yeah, is something which we would pay to a star player in all-in compensation, and this would exclusively be the profit share for Diego. Diego's at the end of his career as well. We have to take this into account. You know.
Let's put it all in context. I mean, I wouldn't expect that you were going to pay 250 as a total comp of a superstar. You were paying that to Alfonso, and Alfonso, I mean, he's gonna be good, but he's still young.
Alfonso is a superstar. Alfonso is a fantastic player. So he's a clear. We would love to see Diego being as good as Alfonso.
I don't want to get in this kind of emotional conversation about who is better or whatever. But I just want to tell you that if all these rumors are over there, maybe it's because this is not a superstar salary. Maybe, I don't know. That's a fair point to understand from your side. But if he's really a superstar, he wouldn't be earning that. And in this business, Diego was making 224 years ago, and now the equivalent salary of that is 440.
Which was his absolute
prime. So I'm just saying that the reference for a superstar, it's in the 440. More. I also have to say that, okay, he would be making 250 if we manage to be in 100% attendance. But this is not feasible for us. It's completely impossible that we are going to make this. And you know that this is not feasible within 1 year. And that's why we said, okay, and for the second year, we can decrease it. So we were expecting like plus 10% this year, which it will make us earn 100k per year this year. And then if we manage to get another 10%, which could be like plus 20% from now, during the second year, we will be making again just 100%. So we are committed to try to get like 95% in 2 years and earning 100k per year. This is our mechanism. Simple like that. And we don't make too. We don't want to get to a really complicated agreement. That's my point. If you want to talk our scheme with lower numbers or whatever, we can play also with the salary base, but we need to start like into an agreement. No?
For me, the level is too high, and the overall level I said before, why it is too high. So a couple of points for me. Diego earned 220 4 years ago, and he was in his absolute prime. I acknowledge that salaries have changed since then, but the important point is to see where Diego is in his career. He has been performing badly. Yeah, we're not sure if he brings the performance, and he's dependent on having this last chance and a good career base. So this is really important. Yeah, the incentivization, of course. But can I see the incentivization to be possible to be 250,000? I cannot accept that. That is significantly too much. Yeah, I could see a maximum incentivization package of around half that.
Okay, I mean, we are aligned. Here we are completely aligned. We don't want to make 250k.
Mm-hmm.
But so you're telling me that you would be okay with 125k, no?
Yeah, linked to performance.
Of course.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would accept
Mm.
a cap on our mechanism. I would say it's gonna be 10k per each 1% point percentage points
Mm-hmm.
of attendance ratio, but with a cap of 125k. Okay. It's just like that.
Okay.
The only difference here is that we don't think that we can make to go to the 100%, and if you think that you can, of course,
Uh-huh.
I do respect, and we can put this cap.
Okay.
So the incentivization part would be like fixed for me. If you agree with that.
I would agree, subject to us agreeing on the fixed salary being at 175.
Okay, let's play then with all together, no?
Okay.
So
Sure.
now we have from one side the 175, and then the 10 and 5% on the second year. No, sorry, because I am already accepting that this is a 2-year contract at least, and I asked for 3, but we are talking already like about 2 years. I don't know if you are fine with that, or you couldn't agree with of having a 2 years agreement.
So you are looking for a...
And let's discuss later, but it's like, okay, you cannot just fire Diego, but we will manage to do it. Okay, it's not gonna be too painful for us.
Look, with the term, yeah, we can do something along the lines of, I'm very happy to sign a long term, yeah, but again, what I would like to do is to put some threshold in, yeah. I don't know what the simplest threshold would be. For we, it would be that we are at least keeping an occupancy of 75,000, and that it doesn't slip below.
Of course.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, so that should there be bad performance, the contract can be cancelled without any additional costs.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. So then we have these two parts. So we are saying that about this 2 to 3 years or 3 years contract, but we are talking about the terms of the 2 first years. If you agree,
yep.
10% plus 5% with the cap of the 125. Okay.
You mean 10,000, 5,000 for every additional point increase?
Yes,
fine.
Exactly.
Fine.
And with the cap of 125k. But the only thing now is, okay, the equivalent salary for Diego could be 440 if he was in his best moment, and the best moment of his career. No? But it's also known that for starting players, the usual salary, it's 2 times the average of a reserve player. No? Diego is now in his best shape. He really wants to be here. I know that you said that, okay, but he is his last opportunity. Okay, we all know that, yeah, Diego is already 37 years old. He's not in his prime, in the prime moment of his career, but we also know that Rio de Janeiro has been within the last 5 positions for 2 years. So it's not that we are in this position. We are both in a position that we need each other.
Sure, that's why we talk together. Yeah, that's why we're here.
So we both need each other. So, I mean, I also want you to think about not giving him just a reserve salary.
So just
usually it's 2 times.
Just on the reserved salary, yeah. So 2 times Brasilia, yeah, still only makes 220 total, yeah. We are already looking at a total of 125 plus 175, so we are looking at a total of 300. His Brasilia, the double, would only be 220. So he's significantly above that. Going back, Sao Paulo, 175.
We are not in there. I mean, there is a risk over there, no? This salary. If you want to agree to have a 300 salary fixed income, you can sign now.
But the risk, yeah, just to point out, this was a riskier structure for Diego. I agree. Yeah, the structure we agreed for Diego is significantly less risky. So Diego could already get to the final point by 12.5% increase in attendance.
Yeah, but it's 7.5% attendance. He will get to the maximum, but I don't think it's easy.
5%.
But I mean, last year we were like the 22nd team in the league.
Yeah, but look, we are, that's what we are aspiring to be. Plus, historic rate was 95%, and fans are thoroughly behind Diego. I certainly hope, and I hope that you hope as well, that fans will come back into the stadium. I think fans will even come back, even if the performance is relatively poor, purely to see Diego and for old time's sake. Eventually this will wear off, but I think we really have a head start here. So I think under the structure, Diego has a really good chance to break into the full element of the bonus. Look, even if he only makes half of the bonus, yeah, then he makes 63,000, yeah, that's still plus the 175, that's 240, that's still more than double what he earned at Brasilia.
Yeah, but going back to the Brasilia versus Sao Paulo thing, when he got hired from Sao Paulo, it was for a long-term relationship. Here it's also a long-term relationship. Actually, he's not going to be a reserve player, he's going to be a starting player. It's definitely a long-term relationship with you. And with this Brasilia, it was just a short-term relationship. That's why. He didn't have to pay them anything, and he could just leave after 4 months. Mm-hmm. That's why he had this salary. Again, I'm telling you that the reference salary of his reserve position was 175, which was 4 months ago. So if you double the 175, then you will end up with 350 and not with 220. So it's like a huge difference, no? So I mean, if you want to compare about the last year's salary,
can I make a proposal?
We should do it like properly.
Can I make a proposal? So I really want us to move together on this.
Yes.
So I would make the following concessions. I would give the 3-year contract, yeah, but subject to the minimum attendance.
Yes.
So I give you the term. And what I would give you in addition as well is that for all 3 years, yeah, anything which he secures above this break-even point, yeah, stays at 10,000. So not as you suggested that he only gets 5,000 in the second year. I keep it at 10,000 both in year 2 and year 3.
But you know that this is not adding value to us.
Why is it not?
Because if we maintain the cap, hopefully we will reach the cap soon. So you are telling us,
but you don't know. But you don't know. I mean, if he increases it by 12.5%, yeah, and it is at that level, in the first year he would earn 125,000. In the second year he would only make half of that. Yeah. I'm proposing he can keep the same level throughout.
Yeah,
it's okay, financially more attractive.
A little bit, but just a little bit, because he is not going to get nothing from the 87.5% to the 100%. You're right.
No, that's correct. Yes. Yes.
So it's not that good, but
I think I think it's still more attractive than this version.
Yeah, but then
for him because he can easier get interest.
The alignment of interest, then we are missing alignment of interest then, because after the first year, they wouldn't care about the next year's salary or whatever. No?
So let me just do some maths. Let me just do some maths. How about?
But no, really, if you really feel that this approach has much more risk and this allow us to have more alignment of interest, let's go to your mechanism. I mean, I'm gonna have hard times explaining to Diego, but let's go to these numbers. But please, I wouldn't talk about 6%, which is a 66K.
No. Look. If you
100%.
If you don't mind, I would stay with your proposal because we agreed on that. Let's not, take it up again. We were pretty far. We were happy with that. Let's stick with that and think about how we can make it work in other ways.
Okay.
Otherwise, we are opening up.
Well, it works perfect. Perfect.
What would be your proposals that we can come to a conclusion? What would you suggest?
What I was telling to you, for us, like the reference point, it's more like 2 times his salary in this thing, in Sao Paulo, sorry, which could be a total income of 350. I do understand that you want some alignment of interest here, and I do really understand it. That's why we think that we should have like an incentive program. To have this incentive program, our initial proposal was would be 250 plus this. 250 plus this would make, if everything goes really good for both parties, to 375. It's a bit more than our main objective, which is 350. It's a bit more, I understand. But we are also taking some risk.
We're moving very far away from our initial approach, right?
Actually, it's 75K difference. Because you were
which is
kind of
substantial.
happy with 175. Yeah, it is.
So
that's why we're
still
talking about
that's substantial. So I mean, I'm talking about 300, and you were just suggesting 375, which for me is, for me, first of all, any movement generally would have to purely come out of the incentive pot. On this scale, it would have to come from the incentivization.
But then the problem here is that, okay, you are paying him a reserve salary from one point, and also that you are decreasing the salary of the forward of the team by a huge amount, like from 250 to 175.
Whose salary am I decreasing?
Like the starting player as a forward, like Alfonso was earning here 250 fixed salary.
Yeah, but he didn't have any incentivization. That was his total package.
I don't understand. Understand that.
Yeah.
He's a young player.
Yeah. And for me, Alfonso, as I said before, I would be delighted if Diego would be able to live up to the qualities of Alfonso. So Alfonso for me really is a reference point, in terms of quality. So for me, I'm already 50 above with this figure, and that's why it's very difficult for me to make any further movement from this.
But I do really think that you are talking about goals or just individual roles. But Diego here is not going to play this role. Diego here is going to be able to win games. It's not only that he's going to score goals, but winning games. Probably he will score less goals, less goals than him. But it's another thing. And also from the company perspective, he's going to make you win much more money. So if you're talking to me just about the individual performance, such as number of goals per year, yeah, probably you're right. I'm not saying that no. But from a perspective of the team winning games and not being within the 5 last positions, plus from the company side that we will manage to get more revenues from advertising and from attendance, I think that we're talking about different things. So I wouldn't say that we are 50 above. However, I will tell you, it's not that I'm stuck with the 440 initial and now I'm 375. But we cannot accept 300. We can. It's just that we cannot. We cannot accept, like, it's more about reputation. Trust me, it's more about reputation.
I mean, it's reputation.
He cannot get 175. It was a reserve salary for him.
Okay, I mean, about reputation. First of all, we have to think about reputation, what we do in reference points to the other players. For me, I very much still, on a personal level as well, value Alfonso. And him, I mean, I already have to keep part of the deals, undisclosed for him. If he hears about the full package, it's problematic already because he will feel undervalued. And I think he has a lot of value. Aside from that, I think that it's, again, coming to the point, how can Diego has as a reference point something like 440 if he accepted salaries up to a quarter of that? I know that there's a difference between reserve and the main team, and we really want to get him in the main team 100%, and we want to pay him more. And it's important for him and for us that he's in the main team. But what we cannot do is just pay some. His reputation recently is that he's slightly overweight. He often goes into restaurants too much. He likes the nightlife. We do as well. We're aligned. We like Diego. Nothing personal against it. But what we cannot be seen is paying Diego too much initially, and really not knowing if he performs.
I mean, you're not paying him a lot because you are saying like this 300, but out of these 300, a huge percentage it's incentive. So you're not paying him a lot.
Look,
just make him the salary the base salary higher. We need something higher than that. It's my main concern. If you want to make another mechanism to incentivize him to maintain his actual shape, that he is really fit right now and he is ready to play, okay, we can do it. If he has more weight than some amount, he will he will have to pay a fine or whatever you want. I do agree, but let's work on it.
Where do you put your proposal?
I mean, I put my proposal here, but if you want to...
Come on.
If you want
I have my proposal currently here. You have it here. This is the sliding scale.
As I told you.
We have to be somewhere here.
As I told you, my initial point was 175, which is a reserve salary for him, times 2, which was 350. But I would be able to accept that with the risk of not getting paid 125, which is already a main concession for us. So I would agree the total count up to 350 with this incentivized package.
350 would be consisted of what?
225 base salary plus this incentivizing scheme or bonus scheme. Incentive salary, yeah. And if you want to add to it, fine. If he is not performing well because of the weight, we will be happy to do it. Because we really trust him.
I could accept.
would be happy with that. We are not. We think that we also have to reach an agreement. So I would like to bring to the table another concept.
Okay.
It's gonna be really simple concept, okay? But our starting point is gonna be this: 20 plus incentive scheme, the initial incentive scheme, okay? Can I trust you that we are done with this deal? Because I'm gonna deliver you some information that it's not relevant for the deal that you have already set, but for further agreements.
Sorry, just to understand. You want to bring alternative option, or
no,
you agree?
This option with an add-on. I mean, we agree with this option, but I want to explain you an add-on.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay.
I can obviously not agree to it yet
Okay,
before I hear it.
So the thing,
but I am
cannot
listening.
agree, and I accept that you cannot agree.
Yeah.
But if I finally want to accept this deal as it is, I can. No, that's my point.
Please speak.
And not because of the information you are going then to bargain or whatever.
Sure.
Okay. We already have an agreement, an advertising agreement with Diego that is going to take place if he joins the team, of course, because it's gonna be 450 for 2 years. So per year it's gonna be 225.
By the advertising agency flat or linked to anything?
No, it's flat. Okay, it's only linked to join the team as an starting play.
Okay.
So it's gonna be 225.
Income for Diego.
Income for Diego.
Fantastic.
But this is already signed and everything is done in there. No? So we would be happy to align interest with you in this sense, sharing the income that Diego is going to receive, like you will get 20% of that, but not only of the contract that he already signed, but also of any other contract. So
a future profit share on advertising contracts
for Diego. So with the existing contract, it could be for you 45k per year. And the potential of having much more.
Okay, I'm listening, yes.
And that's already what we have. So we are offering you the 20%, which it's already, you have secured 45 plus what we can get from him. Okay. So I would suggest you to increase the base salary, and if you want, we can make base salary plus advertising salary and incentivize. Okay, so you are not going to get into trouble with other players by an X amount. Of course, it has to be higher than 45 because you are going to get 45.
So,
sure.
So what is your proposal?
No, I want you to make me a proposal, which I've been making all the proposals, but I just want.
It's not true. I've made some proposals today as well.
Okay,
That's true.
You're right.
You're both made the
right.
proposals.
We both have been making proposals, but I want to hear from you and also to have the feeling or the perception. What do you expect from Diego? No? Because I think that this is going to be good for us.
So on this matter, it could be interesting. Sure. A problem which I have is to estimate, the potential advertising revenue. So that's my big problem. That I don't have any.
But we've been doing the same thing with attendance. No?
I have data on attendance. I don't know if you have data on advertising.
Yeah, well, I have data that already, without having the contract with you, he already got 450.
Sure,
for 2 years. So
but you don't have a forecast contract, right?
No. Of course, I don't have the one that he's going to sign in 1-2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I know that already he's got 450.
So the value of the contract this year is 225.
Yes.
And
it's for 2 years.
It's for 2 years.
$225 each year, and I am offering you 20%, which is 45.
I try to make it simple. If I was to move here, to give this package, how much would you give me of future advertising revenues?
I mean, if you move just to this package, would be something like with the 10%, you would get 22.5. So I would be giving, so it would be equivalent just to move to 347.5. So I would give you less than 10%, of course, because then you have if I give you 10% and then we get another contract, you're going to make a lot of money.
Equally, after 2 years, if you lose the contract, I'm not getting the 10%. He still gets his salary as long as the attendance is up. So it's slightly safer.
No, but we are talking about 2 years contract right now. So after the 2 years, we will have to renegotiate everything.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like you are not getting any risk.
Yeah.
So right now, if I offer you 20%, it's that you are making 45 first year, 45 second year, for sure.
Yep.
How much could you increase the base salary of these 2 years for Diego if I give you 20% of this contract and any additional one?
Again, for me, this is very, I understand that you have this contract. Everything else for me is still risky. Why is it risky? Because Diego is at the end of his career. I don't know how he will perform. Everything is linked. Attendance, his performance, the advertising revenues. Yeah. So how much could I give you? I couldn't give you much more than the guaranteed income in those 2 years.
That 45.
Yeah. Okay. Because I cannot estimate the upside at this stage. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, am I to go a little bit? If the revenues are 45, and I maybe as a package give you 50 more.
So you are putting risk. You are just putting in risk 5.
I put a very low one.
Yeah, but I know, but I just
because I cannot estimate it.
But I just want you to know that you have data on attendance. We don't have, but we came here with a good faith attitude, and we understood that, and we are putting in risk not 5K but 125K per year. And you're telling me that you want to put in risk all the 5K, so that's not I think that we are not looking for the same thing. It's just like that. I don't know.
I understand your concerns. I do. It's only you didn't have any. I would have for this proposal. What I would like is to say we're going after this contract. We think we can achieve this. It's a black box. It's a black box for me.
What's the attendance?
I know the ticket sales. I know what the historic attendance was. So, for example, it would be interesting. What did you historically earn?
What is better, the historical attendance 4 years ago, or the contract that we signed 2 weeks ago?
No, sure, but I don't know what any additional.
It's still there, so I think that this is much more relevant than the attendance 4 years ago. I don't know if you understand my position.
So what
he could make it without being playing, without having a team already. I don't know. I think that this is much more promising. It has much more potential than the attendance thing. And you are just putting in risk 5K per year, and we are putting in risk 125K per year. I think that we are so separate right now in this sense.
Yeah, the only I appreciate that you looked for an alternative option, but equally, I'm just saying for me it's very difficult to make my risk assessment on something where I have no feeling on in which direction it can go. That's only why this is quite difficult. I don't know how you see this. I don't know for what kind of premiums you're looking for. If you look for premiums, equivalent to this kind of incentive structure, I would feel difficulty agreeing to that, without knowing about it. Then I would be happier if we together can go back to this and, find an agreement on this. We are very close together.
Yes. That my main concern now is that our alignment of interest is not really happening. It's the only thing that will help. That's why I thought that this mechanism was going to put our interests so aligned. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you what I wanted. It's not that this number I want to bargain with it. I didn't expect a lot of money out of that, but not 50. of course, because 5 for me is like kind of ridiculous. I was thinking about 75. It's not that much. You are putting in risk just 30k per year with a huge potential, because what we already have, it's providing you 45. But if you don't want to this mechanism anymore, we can go back to our initial mechanism and try to get an agreement, or just.
So your proposal, just to make it clear, 225 he gets per annum.
Yes.
You would be willing to give us 45?
Well, 20%, which is 45.
Is 45?
It's 45 plus whatever it comes.
Plus.
And I'm asking you just to put 75. So I'm asking you to put in risk 30. That was my only point. If you don't like this mechanism, let's go back to this one. But
how about
and
70, and we agree on 70?
As I told you, it's like I didn't want to bargain about this one, and I told you in advance. So it's like I said you 75 and not 100 or whatever, because we didn't. If we go to this one, it's just because we agree with the 75. But I told you, I don't want to bargain.
Yeah, but look, it's very difficult for me as well. I cannot estimate what else is in the pipeline. Yeah,
no, of course.
For me, this is like,
it's for everybody.
You know, I mean, historically, the Diego, recently, I'm sure he didn't have that many advertising contracts, and many suppliers will be very careful in taking Diego on an advertising contract, given his very, lifestyle, etc. He's in the news negatively as well.
It's not that I'm saying that he's going to get 450 for 2 years. He already got it. So these assumptions are not really true. Like, he already got 450. So if you are sharing this, we can make more. Like, of course. And I'm asking you, Anna, the thing is just about, like, I told you, okay, I'm going to tell you the number that I was expecting. If you like, okay. If not, we go back to our mechanism and we discuss if we reach an agreement or not. But I don't think it makes sense to discuss about 70 or 75.
Can I, in good faith, ask you?
Yes.
Yeah? In good faith, this is between,
Perfect.
business partners for the future. If Diego plays well for the next 2 years, what do you think the cash flow forecast for this is?
I think that at least double. And I'm not asking you for that, at least that. Because he already got one contract. If he gets another one, just one, and after the press release that we were supposed to do with this agreement and everything, it's so easy to get to this level.
Yeah.
That's my feeling. But of course, what I'm granting you, it's like the 45 per year. That's the point for
on that basis, we have a deal.
Okay.
But I very much in this topic, there's a personal trust relationship.
Of course.
That
we
are all in the same industry. We are all in the same boat.
Let me say the last thing. Since it is a really long-term relationship, I would like also to put a cap on this additional 75. That if Diego is not playing well, or if Diego triggers the maximum weight or whatever, the extra cash will be cancelled. Just for his performance, like for the weight, or if
you want to put
75, it's not.
Okay.
I would accept not to pay the extra fee, or to cancel the extra fee versus the income share.
Sorry, just to summarize our deal.
Yeah.
So we are saying that Diego would get 325 plus 75.
Well, I would say 200 plus 75 plus incentives, no?
Yeah, so 200 fix plus 75 for advertising.
Exactly. Plus the incentive mechanism.
Plus incentive mechanism.
Or salary. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, capped at 125 max.
Yes.
But
exactly. But here,
but we entitled to 20% of any advertising.
Of course.
Advertising revenue. Okay.
But this would be cancelled if Diego exceeds his maximum weight, or if Diego is not playing well, and therefore the occupancy rate gets lower than 75%. If you want, I will give it to you, because just as a sign of trust.
Okay, then let's also link this to the occupancy of the stadium.
To the 75.
Let's have the same cap. Yes.
Okay, but it's for the two things. Okay.
Yep.
You can cancel it.
Yep.
You want.
Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Good. We have it. Thanks very much.